Hello and welcome to this demonstration of how to build the basic firing mechanism part of a Lego gun. This is just one possible design, of course, but this is a design that me and my son came up with, and it's working quite well, I would say, with a nice touch on the trigger. And it's keeping apart, and there's nothing sanded or glued in this gun, so it's just, you can just break it apart and do whatever. And of course that means that some parts will loosen up and some parts will fall off eventually, but you just keep pushing it together again, and it will be no problem. The demonstration will not include this specific gun design because I mean, there's some special features on this one, but I will not even go into them. I'm just showing them to you now. But let's go into the design. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the gun without the unnecessary parts, leaving only the firing mechanism, which is the firing rod and the trigger part. Okay, the firing rod has two important pieces, or one important piece, which is the L shape here, the L shape piece, and the other function or feature is that the L shape is pulled down like this, and that is achieved by wrapping the rubber band down like that. By doing so, it will keep some pressure on the rod here to actually force the L shape down. Okay, so it's we have two rubber bands, one on each side, similar length, and both are wrapped to force the L shape down. You have to have something to fill the gap on top here, and we need to do it by using a similar rod as we have for firing, because it's a little bit lower than one of these pieces, and it's needed because we actually have these sliders here, and the sliders fills one height, one Lego height. That's new unit. Anyway, so it has to be some kind of solution like this. And if you don't fill the gap, your projectiles will actually hit the end here, and they will get stuck instead of getting out of the barrel. Okay, so the triggering part, it actually, the whole firing is made by just keeping this L shape in place with the trigger, or with this hockey stick shaped piece. If you don't have one of these, maybe you can solve it in some other way, but I have already done a couple of different solutions. But it's actually quite hard to get something that fires and moves like this. You need to make it move like this, but you want to have a nice trigger feel like that, and it's a little harder than it looks actually. So if you have these hockey stick shapes, use them. Okay, so simple, down, or actually down, but it can't move down because the trigger is in place, and the trigger is moved back a little bit, just enough to get get the L shape down, and directly after the L shape is down, the triggering will lock it. Okay? So we have a locking situation here, and as soon as I remove the locking here, it will fire, and it's just a couple of millimeters, so it's a very nice close trigger, very short range of motion you have to do. Okay, so like that, and then you see I just release it a little bit like that. Okay, the trigger is actually pulled, or not the trigger, but the trigger is pulled back by a rubber band, or pulled forward by a rubber band, and as you can see here, now it works almost as it should. It's not supposed to be connected like this. It's supposed to be connected more or less. I can show you actually the real functionality here. I just put this here, something like that maybe. Like that. You can see if I pull the trigger, it just moves back and forward like that. And of course this is how it's supposed to work. I pulled it back, the L shape got in place. By the pressure of the rubber band on the trigger, it forces it to lock, and as soon as I pull this, it will release. Back. Yeah. And of course, this happens sometimes. As I said, there's nothing sanded or glued here, so if you don't glue it, it will give away after some moves, some firing. Okay, now it's back. Well, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else. No. You just have to fill everything around it with some nice pieces so it looks cool. I don't think that this mechanism is optimal for doing some kind of magazine that can do more rapid firing, but it should be possible in some way, so try it out. Do your own versions of it, or please give us your designs. This has been a really fun thing to do, so we will try to do something better. Thank you very much.